All right, enough goofing around. You're gonna come down. Let's just have a strike a seat. Some of you are standing, which is so funny. That's like such a all excited. But we're gonna just come down, have a seat either on your shins. You're more than welcome to sit on a block. And if that isn't comfortable for you, of course you could sit cross-legged. In the end, it doesn't really matter. But find a seat that works for you. And we'll take a second here to honor the space that you've created both in your house and in your life, and to commit to the practice this morning. Allow yourself to sit tall. And if you got into the seat and you discovered that it's not very comfortable, take a moment to change it so that you are comfortable. And close your eyes. And in honor of this week that we have in front of us, you know, Mother's Day on Sunday, that can bring up lots of things for lots of people. If you're just signing on, good morning. Hi, Marianne. The bottom line is we all have one or had one. And we'll honor the qualities that that word instills in us. So I think of things like nurture, protect, foster, the things that allow us to expand our range, these qualities that allow us to feel safe. And regardless of whether or not you are a mother, you're mothering something, whether it is a pet, a project, a plant, and your own self. We'll honor those qualities as we move through our practice this morning. Take a moment as you shift gears and move inside. Notice how you feel. And a gentle reminder that our brain is hardwired to go to what doesn't feel great or what feels that it needs its attention and love and support. And we can honor that, but we can also flip the switch and allow yourself to recognize what feels incredible, what feels strong, what feels open. We'll take a few moments to honor those spaces, those things that popped into your mind. And we'll be so grateful for our ability to take a full, long breath in and a slow, steady exhale. And again, full breath in and strong, steady exhale. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. On an inhale, flutter your eyes open, pause for just a moment, and you're going to stand right on up. I'm going to invite you to stand in the middle of your mat, facing the long edge of your mat. If you have space, you can adjust your mat. I don't know if you want to turn it so that you're still facing the camera. I don't think it's going to matter much. I'll try to be as articulate as possible. So you're in the middle of your mat, facing the long edge of your mat. Soften your knees, hinge from your hip, and gently fold forward. Don't worry about what your hands reach. Let your head hang heavy. Keep your knees soft for a moment and allow the breath to drive and permeate your low back. You might find a little shake of your skull, a little yes, a little no feels good. I just walked back and turned on the music. I should have told you that before you came into the forward fold. It's a cue that I kind of forget. So we'll stay here for another moment or two so you can hit play. And if you don't have my playlist, no one cares. You could play some music on your own or be in silence. That's nice too. With your next inhale, lengthen your legs and pull your head and heart forward, monkey pose. Pause for a moment. Press your feet into your mat and feel like you're trying to make your mat longer. So there's some activity in the legs. And with your next exhale, release your head and fold. Inhale, lengthen the legs, pull your head, heart forward. And exhale, soften and fold. 2 more cycles. Breathe in, expand. Exhale, let your head release and soften. And 1 more time. Inhale, expand, hold here. And simply bend your left knee. You can keep your left hand on the earth, on a block, a book, or even on your left ankle. Reach the right arm to the sky. Gentle twist of the spine. Go ahead and rotate your top wrist, your hands, circle the fingers, the wrist, just waking that up. Breath in, opening the chest, and exhale, release. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, right hand stays underneath you. Lift the left arm up to the sky into our twist and take a moment to circle out through the wrist. Breath in, expand, and exhale, release. Let's go back and forth. Straighten your right leg, bend your left knee. Inhale, stretch the right arm to the sky. Exhale, release towards the floor. Switch, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, switch. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Inhale, right arm to the sky, eyes to the sky. Exhale, switch. Bend your right knee, straighten your leg. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Exhale, release. Place your hands on your hips. Drive through your heels and stand on up. Walk your hands to your low back. Squeeze your upper arm bones towards one another. Allow the pelvis to press forward as you lift your eyes, your chest towards the sky. Think of it as a standing cobra pose. Breathe in, rise through the center. Exhale, run your hands down your legs and forward fold. Take your feet, begin to tick-tock them open until you're a wide-legged forward fold. Pigeon toe your toes slightly. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders, arms straight. I'm up on the fingertips. You could use a block or books if you wanted to, or palms flat. Allow your hips to shimmy a little side to side. For me, one side feels a little more resistant, a little locked compared to the other side. Just see for you what happens. Balance your hips in the middle. Breath in. Smush your feet into the floor. Exhale, let your head release. Ay. Feel the outer edges of your feet root down into the mat. And from the arch, imagine that whole line of the inside of the thigh reaching up all the way through the inner groin towards the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. Take a walk to your right. Put your hands on either side of your right foot, lower your left knee, uncurl your toes. Breathe in, lift your arms up into a low lunge. Big circle. As you exhale, let your arms circle behind you and feel your fingertips scrape along the floor. Inhale, reach up, celebrate that. Exhale, big circle, some movement, yay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale completely. One more time, inhale, reach up and pause. If these arms don't work for you, you could change them. Smush the top of your left foot, the top of your left shin into the earth. Lift up through the center of your chest. One more breath. Exhale, swing your hands down to the ground. Tuck your left toes, elevate your left thigh. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, track and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, track and bend your knee. One more time, inhale, lengthen your right leg, flare the toes, come on to the right heel, and then let your head hang heavy. It's a great view of your left calf, your left heel, and drop that guy down with some fierceness. And breathe in, elevate the chest, drive forward into the right foot. Place both hands on the inside of your leg. Turn through, so you'll walk to your left, back into our wide-legged forward fold. Other side, walk to your left foot. Put your hands on either side of your left foot, descend your right knee, uncurl your toes. Breathe in, reach your arms and eyes for the sky. Here's a big circle to wake up the chest. Let your arms, fingertips slide along the floor. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, big circle. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Last time, inhale, lift up, low lunge and pause. Feel free to change the arms. Pressing the top of the right foot into the mat. Feel like that's scraping forward. Holding for 3. Breath in. Exhale, swing your hands down and frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, elevate your back knee. Inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, track and bend your knee. Sink the pelvis. Push the feet. Inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, drive forward, sink the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen, hold. Flare your left toes to the sky. Dig the left heel in. Let the back of your neck get long, holding here. Great view of your heel, your right calf. Press it down and open. Breathe in, elevate your eyes. Drive forward. Place both hands on the inside of your left foot. Crawl to your right, wide-legged forward fold. Turn your heels in, toes out. Bend your knees and walk your hands up onto your thighs so you're like a sumo wrestler. The arms are straight and the shoulders can go a little bit to the ears here. No one ever says that in yoga, but they can here. And then simply shift the weight side to side. All right, balance the hips. Bend your left elbow. Straighten your right arm, and with the heel of your right hand, guide your right thigh bone away from you. A little twist for the upper back. Return to the center. Straighten your left arm, bend your right elbow. Look over your right shoulder. Come back to the center. Scoop the tailbone underneath you. Yoga stick up. Arms out like goalposts. Smush your feet into the floor. On an inhale, straighten your legs, straighten your arms. You're a giant X. As you exhale, track your knees right over your toes and sink back down. Slowly inhale, straighten. Exhale like you're pulling down a weighted bar at the gym. Pull the elbows in. Slowly straighten. Exhale, maybe sink a hair deeper. 2 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, empty everything. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and hold. Pause for 3. Soft eyes, goddess face for 2. Last 1. Glance down, set your hands on the floor. Straighten your legs, turn your toes in, heels out. Let your head hang for a moment here. That's a moment. Breath in, extend. Bend your right knee, transverse lunge. Keep the baby edge of your left foot rooted on your mat. Put your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Right hand to your hip, rotate to your right. Lift the right arm to the sky and hold here. I know Michelle's outside. If anyone else is outside, you're rotating the right side of your body up towards the sun, trying to not have any shadow across your chest. 1 more breath. Exhale your right hand down to the ground. Continue your journey to the right. Put your hands on either side of your right leg. Back leg stays as is. Inhale, rise, high lunge. Exhale, bend your elbows like goalposts. Dip your back knee, creating some heat in the legs. Inhale, slowly extend. Exhale, bend, bend, bend. Inhale, expand. Exhale, bend. Inhale, expand. Exhale, bend. Inhale, expand and hold. Front knee bent, back leg straight, heart lifts up, holding here, 3. Holding here, 2. Last 1. Swing your hands down to the inside of your right foot. As you straighten your right leg, crawl to your left. Wide-legged forward fold. Bend your left knee. Put your right hand underneath your shoulder. Lift the left arm to the sky and twist. Again, feel no shadow across your chest. Press your hands actively one away from the other. Big deep breath in. Exhale, take the left hand down to the ground, and then continue your journey to the left. Rotate your back leg. You've got your left knee over your left ankle. Strong. Inhale, rise. Crescent lunge. Exhale, dip your back knee, bend your elbows. Inhale, expand, lift the fingertips high. Exhale, dip your back knee. Inhale, expand. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last time, inhale, expand and hold. Let the whole thing vibrate open, strong and supported. Last 2. Full breath in together. Swing the hands down to the inside of your left foot. Crawl your way to your right. Wide-legged forward fold. Draw your heels in, toes out. Hands on your hips. Rise to stand. Bend your knees. Goddess pose. Let's keep the hands on the hips just with your fingertips. You can feel like you're lifting the front rim of your pelvis up. Lift your right heel as high as you can and sink the pelvis deeper. 3 little baby pulses here. 3. Daniela just gave me a look. 2. She's like, 1. Hold, 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 hold. I know the heel's still lifted. Put the heel down. Lift your left heel up. Pulse the pelvis straight down for 3. Slow and steady for 2. For 1, my legs are shaking. I hope yours are too. And then set your heel down. Stay here. Slowly straighten your legs. Arms like a big X. Take your arms behind your back. Pigeon toe your toes. Interlace your fingers. Broaden the chest. Prasarita C. Hinge from the hip. Head low. Knuckles high. Feel like you're tossing your hands up and over your head. Holding here. 3. 2. 1. Awesome. Lower the arms. Let them slide apart. Take a breath in. Lengthen your spine and look over at your left foot. Look over at your left ankle and feel like you just saw something that you need to investigate further. Allow your right leg not to move. Walk your hands. Grab the outer edge of your left shin, your left ankle, or sorry, your right. Your right. I totally screwed up. I'm trying to be so fancy and do opposite you. So let's go to the right. I'm to the left. On a breath in, pick up your head. Continue your journey to your right leg. Right leg, right leg. Turn your left toes out. Back foot strong on the earth. Toes angled. Keep your legs as is. Rise on up, warrior 2. Right knee bent, left leg straight. I'm sorry, I made a big fuss about it. Push through your feet. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Reach your arms to the sky. And then convince yourself to sink deeper, warrior 2. Push through your feet. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink deep. One more time. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, warrior 2, and pause. Right? If you remember last week, we had this whole little moment where we put the hands on the hip and on the knee. You could do it, or you could just imagine that that's happening. But your right knee is traveling out away from you, and the left rim of your hip is traveling in the other direction, right? And then you have this expansion. Holding here. Last 3, 2, last 1. Look down at the inside of your foot. Set your hands down and then crawl to your left, legged forward fold. Take a walk over to look at your left ankle, and then see like you just never have seen anything quite so interesting, and snuggle your body towards your left leg. It's like you're holding on to it like a life preserver. All right, we're going to continue our journey over to the left foot. Soften and bend your left knee. Turn your toes and set your legs up. Left knee over your ankle. Back leg nice and straight. And then rise on up. Warrior two. For a little bit of warmth, straighten the front leg. Squeeze the legs in and up. Reach your arms high. Exhale, track and bend your left knee, warrior two. Breathe in, lift everything high. Exhale, sink, warrior two. Breathe in, lift high. Exhale, warrior two, and pause. We're holding the pose, and again, imagine you have that extra set of hands. The inside of the left knee peeling away from the rim of your right hip. And then this broadness across your chest, this broadness across your back. Sometimes we forget about that. And eyes over your fingertips, holding here. Notice the strength, the power in the legs, the support, right? Just like a mother. One more breath. Look down, set your hands down, and then crawl to your right. Wide-legged forward fold. Take your feet in one tick-tock. Turn your heel, or maybe two tick-tocks. Heels and toes out, and sink your hips down, Malasana. You can crawl your fingertips out in front of you. Let your chin come in towards your chest. I immediately started rocking from side to side. I like the way that feels in my low back. So do some investigative research here. Good. Find a place that you can sustain. Perhaps drop the pelvis low, lift the heart high. Take your hands together at your heart. Think that your feet are pressing down and feel like they're scooting away from you. So you have some energy going through the legs. Keep that, sustain that, and slowly straighten your legs. Reach your arms for the sky. Exhale, track your knees right over your toes and sink back down into Malasana. Now do the opposite. I tricked Daniela, she's already halfway up. Squeeze your heels in towards one another so you feel that muscular energy, and then slowly straighten your legs, reach your arms up. Exhale, track your knees right over your toes, sink back down. Let's do that again. So push the feet into the mat and push them away from one another. Sustain that, inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, slowly bend. Pause, hug the feet in towards one another. Feel that, inhale, slowly rise. And exhale, slowly bend. Set your hands on the earth, lift your booty high, turn your feet back out, walk a little wider, and let your head release. Shake your head a little, yes. Shake your head a little, no. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Bend your right knee, transverse lunge. Take a walk over to your right foot, turn your feet, but keep your hands on the inside of your right leg. The left heel wedged into the mat. Your arm can stay right here, a block is welcome, or put your right hand on your right ankle, put your left hand on your left hip, and lift up and open, facing the side. Stretch your left arm to the sky. Side angle pose, we're gonna take some circles. Turn your palm over your head, reach as far as you can, up and over, and then let your fingertips scrape along the earth. Reach way behind you and open the chest up again, reach way up and over the top. Couple of circles just on your own. Right, hopefully it's taking your mind off of what's happening through your right glute, your right hip. It's like a swim stroke, and the next time your left arm is over your head, pause. Feel that energy of the right arm holding your right thigh, your right knee open, and peel the ribs away from your hip. Holding here, 3, Holding here, 2. Last one, look down, set your hands down on the ground. Walk to your left. I have never been so grateful to straighten my leg before. Let your head release. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend your left knee. Walk your hands to the inside of your left foot as you turn your toes. So I turned on my heel. And now your left arm is nuzzled into your left leg. Take your right hand to your hip and roll the chest open. Stretch your right arm to the sky. Here come the circles. Reach way over your head like a swim stroke, and then down towards the earth, way behind you. A couple of circles just on your own, feeling like the circle can get larger with every rotation. And the next time your arm is over your head, pause. The baby edge of your right foot all the way to your right fingertips, everything on that side has your attention. Holding here, 3. You got it, yep, beautiful. Holding here, 2. Lengthen for 1. Look down, set your hands on the ground. Turn to your right, pigeon toe your toes. Place your hands on your hips, drive to your heels, rise to stand. Tick-tock your feet underneath you. Hands to your low back, squeeze your elbows together, stand in cobra. Press your pelvis, lift the chest high. Breathe in, rise through the center. As you exhale, run your hands down the backs of your legs, just telling your hamstrings how much you love them on the way down. Take a breath in, come up halfway. First 2 fingers wrap around your big toes. Pads of the fingers touch the pads of the thumbs. Inhale, pull your head and heart forward. I'm going to turn to the side. So at the moment, your arms are straight and your chest is lifted and you're looking forward. There's an element of unsure, like you're going to fall on your face. Pull the elbows off to the side, lie your belly towards your thighs, and feel like your face could fit into the curve of your shins. Shoulders away from your ears. Holding here, 3, 2, and 1. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Breathe out, let go. Tick-tock your feet open. Wide-legged forward fold just for a moment. Breathe in, extend the heart forward. Bend your left knee. Transverse lunge, you could do exactly what we just did, or turn your toes out and sink the hips a little bit lower. Hands come to it's almost like a half malasana, and being incredibly cautious that the right knee isn't collapsing, the right knee is peeled open. Wherever you are, think of the extended left leg and feel like that's reaching away from you, like someone grabbed your ankle and is pulling the left leg away from you. Look down, set your hands on the earth. Rise on up enough that you can crawl your way to your right foot, turn your body, and step your left foot over and flat onto the earth, preparing for warrior 1. Smush your feet into the floor. Inhale, rise. Virabhadrasana A. The right knee is bent. The left leg is straight. Take your left arm and stretch it out in front of you. With especially the baby edges of your arms, like the baby edges of your wrist, your hand, lengthen your arms. So the left arm is guiding the left hip forward. Keep what you have, reach both arms and eyes for the sky. In slow motion, straighten your front leg. Squeeze from your left glute to your left heel and slowly track and bend your knee. Inhale, lengthen your front leg. Exhale, track and bend your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Pause here, sink down a hair deeper than what you think. Lift up the chest, lift the ribs off the waist, look up towards the sky. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. Swing your hands down to the foot. Walk to your left. Wide-legged forward fold just for a moment. Shimmy your hips a little side to side. And let's do this on the second side. Take a walk over to your left, bend your left knee, and turn the toes out, sink your hips down. Second time through, Skandasana. I'm always cautious of the knee that's bent. I don't want him to collapse. You can adjust the angle of the foot that's underneath you, and then wherever you are, think about the extended, for you it's your right leg, and feel like someone grabbed it and is pulling it away from you. Holding here, 3. Holding here, 2. Last one, set your hands down. Make that journey to the left foot, hands on either side. Move your right foot over and flat onto the earth. Squeeze the feet into the ground and lift your chest high. You're facing the short edge of your mat, warrior 1. Left arm stays where it is, right arm travels forward, and then pull the arms longer, longer, longer. You can really visualize someone grabbed your right wrist, they're pulling it forward, and it's taking the right belly, the right ribs, and just slowly migrating them towards the front. Keep what you have, both arms to the sky. Slow motion, straighten your front leg. Take a moment here to move your energy from the right glute down to your right heel. It's like a stake, like for a tent, a stake. And then keep that and bend your left knee. Press through your feet. Inhale, lengthen both legs. Exhale, bend, bend, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend, pause. Reach up with all your might, but at the same time, sink down through the legs. Lift up through the chest. One more breath. Exhale, swing your hands down to the inside of your leg. Walk back to the center, wide-legged forward fold. Take your head, your eyes, your heart forward. Walk your hands out, almost like you're doing down dog. Well, you really are, except your feet are just still in that wide-legged fold. Your upper arm bones end up by your ears. Lengthen your body. If you can imagine, someone took the strap that you have and pulled it around your hips, around your pelvis, and they're pulling your pelvis backwards in space. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Lift your eyes. Your hands can stay out here. We're going to slowly bend your knees and take your knees down to your mat. This is usually a crowd favorite. Not at all. Turn your toes so that you're on the insides of your ankles like a frog. Be so incredibly receptive to what the hips and the knees have to say. Line up your ankles right below your knees and then crawl down onto your forearms. If you want to come all the way down your forehead to the floor, well, then you do. Chances are the tailbone hiked up here. You're going to pull the tailbone towards your heels so that your low back broadens. It feels nice and open. And then ever so subtly, pull your hips back towards your heels. And hold here. Whew. Couple of long breaths. See if you can really propel the breath down to the low part of the abdomen, the lowest part of the lungs. And then slowly lift up onto your elbows if you were down on the ground. Shift enough forward that you can move your big toes towards one another. The big toes kiss, and then sink your hips back, walk up onto your hands. This is strangely comfortable. And then draw your knees underneath you. Oh, it's like my legs don't really work anymore. Tuck the toes from right here and stand up on your feet, head low, hips high. Put your hands on your hips, press into your heels, and rise to stand. All right. Shift the weight into your right foot and lift your left knee into your chest. Take the left knee off to the side, and for a moment, visualize the right leg pressing fiercely down into the earth and the left knee reaching up towards your armpit. Hold that, sustain that. And then in the final moment, put the left foot into your right inner thigh. Shore up your right outer hip, stretch your arms to the sky. Tree pose, holding here, 3. Holding here for 2. Holding here for 1. Take your hands together at your heart. Take your ankle and put it on the top of your thigh. Let your head go forward, your hips go backwards, and maybe prop your elbows on your bent leg. Pull the crown of your head away from your tailbone. Feel the left hip being pulled backwards in space. Last 2. Breathe right into the belly of the left hip for 1. Slowly rise. Bring the knee to your chest. Set your foot on the earth. Let your arms relax. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Transfer the weight into the left foot. Lift your right knee in towards your chest. This is the other leg, right, Danielle? Okay. Take your right knee off to the side. I think I had the hands on the hips. That part doesn't really matter. Feel the entire left leg pressing down into the earth. Try to lift. Feel the right leg doing some work. It's lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. And then place your foot into your inner groin. Tree pose, second side. Shore up the outer left hip. Arms to the sky. Holding here. Last 2. Last 1. Take your hands to your heart, calm and steady. Place your ankle on the front of your thigh, making the number 4. It helps to have a little dialogue here between those 2 items. Head goes forward, hips go backwards. You're trying to lengthen the spine. Pull the tailbone and the right hip crease away, holding here. Maybe your elbows can tap your bent leg. It's so hard not to be completely wobbly here, so just not allowing yourself to get caught up in it. It just is what it is. Slowly rise, knee to chest, foot on the earth, release your hands. Whew. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, dive out of your legs, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Tick-tock your feet open to our wide-legged forward fold. Breath in, extend the spine. Breath out, bend your right knee. Keeping the feet flat on the earth, flatten the spine, kind of like you just did when we were in that number 4, and take arms out to the side. You can imagine you have this giant wingspan. So from the back of the spine, the back of your heart, out through the top of your palm. On an inhale, lengthen, lift up about a ½ inch or an inch. And on your exhale, bend your right knee deeper. Push through your feet, inhale, lift from the low belly. And then exhale, gently lower. Press through your feet, inhale, a little lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Press through your feet, inhale, and exhale, lower. Hold for a moment. Set your hands on the earth. Crawl to your right. We'll stay in a lunge for a moment. Left hand underneath your left shoulder. Stretch the right arm to the sky. We're approximating where we're headed. Yep. Everyone's like, I know where we're headed. Glance down, set your hand on the earth, and step your left foot into pyramid legs. Take a breath in, lengthen the spine, balance your hips. You can imagine a teacup on your tailbone. Push the feet in there, squeeze them towards one another, and then fold over your front leg. Visualize as if you could squeeze the legs so much towards one another that a bubble could be created in your mat between your feet. Breathe in, lift up your chest, pause. Smush your feet into the floor, hands on your hips. rise to stand. All right, stretch the left arm to the sky. Lengthen. Hinging from your hip, reach as far forward as possible. Flatten your back. Hold for a moment. And then let your left arm just swing towards the floor. Return it back out in front of you so your arm bone is by your ear. Push through your heels and rise to vertical. Hinge from your hip, reach even further forward. Pause in the flat back. Let your arm swing down towards the floor. Let it swing back up. Reach away from you, push through your heels and rise on up. It's worse than the pose. Flat back it, reach as far forward as possible. Hold for a moment. Let your hand swing down. If the floor seems really far away, put your hand on your shin. That's okay. Block is welcome if you have it, or book. Just like you did, wrap and twist. Right shoulder on top of the left. Reach the right arm to the sky. Revolve triangle pose. A lot going on here, super complicated. The legs are straight, which is kind of bad news. They're powerful though. Use that power to press into the earth and feel like you can draw that power up through the spine as you rotate a little bit deeper. Last one. Awesome, look down, your hand down on the inside of your right foot, crawl to your left, wide-legged forward fold. You might have to walk your feet out a little bit, let your head hang. Take your hands this time, and I'm going to turn to the side, and walk them underneath you so your palms are walking away from you. You could be up on the pads of the fingertips or palms flat, and you're using that kind of energy of your hands walking the other direction to pull the crown of your head further towards the floor. And feel what it's like to really smush the hands down, and there's this energetic rebound of the arm bones that kind of lift up. Shoulders away from your ears. And breathe in, lift your eyes, walk your hands forward, back underneath you, and we'll do all this for the left leg. Bend your left knee, keeping both feet flat. Yeah, flexibility is one thing, but strength is another. Right? Push the feet into the floor, and then there's a small scoop to the abdomen here as you broaden your low back, and then our big giant wingspan. Imagine we were just talking about Michael Jordan before we started class. Imagine that's your wingspan. Jordan, wingspan. Press through your feet, inhale, lift up a little bit, and then exhale, sink down, really steady. Anything pinchy in the knee, stop immediately. Inhale a little lift. Exhale, sink. 2 more, breath in. Breath out. 1 more, breath in. Breath out. Hold, 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 hold. Some of you couldn't wait, I know. Take your hands down and then crawl to your left leg. We're staying in a lunge for a moment so we can practice our twist. Right hand underneath your shoulder. Lift the left arm high, opening the chest. That actually feels really good after that to me. Awesome. Full breath in. Exhale, look down, set your left hand on the earth, and then set up your back leg, your right foot into pyramid pose. Take a moment, balance your hips, pull the head and heart forward. Chances are you have to hug the left outer hip in, and then soften over your front leg. Back of the neck long. With a breath in, lift your eyes, lift your heart, pause. Smush your feet into your mat, hands on your hips, and rise to stand. So certainly, these poses expand the back's legs, but we also want to strengthen the back's legs, which is why I'm making you go in and out of this pose. Lift the right arm to the sky, left hand on your hip. Take a breath in. You can turn on your right glute all the way to your right heel. Hinge from your hip, flat back it. Keep the flat back, so strengthen the legs and let your hand just drop down towards the floor. Breathe in, reach the arm towards the front, press into your heels and rise back to vertical. Hinge from your hip, reach the right arm forward, pause in the flat back. Let your right arm drape down towards the floor. Push through your heels, extend the arm, and then gently rise on up. Hinge from your hip, reach as far forward as possible. This stays. And then take your right hand down to the earth, the block, book, shin, and wrap and twist. Left collar on top of right, left arm to the sky, holding here, revolve triangle pose. Okay. As you drive the legs firmer and firmer into the ground and squeeze them towards one another, use that energy, let it move up through the base of the pelvis, move up through the spine until you can open up the left collar even more. One more breath. Look down, send your hands down, crawl through the middle. Tick-tock your feet in towards one another. And step down onto your shins. Whew. I have this big bruise on my right shin. Take your hips to your heels and relax for a moment in child's pose. Soften your low back. Yeah, anything with your arms. Daniela took her arms by her ankles. I imagine that might feel good here. Let your forehead soften into the earth. One more full breath. Exhale. Good. Lift your eyes. I know that we're in a different orientation with your mat, but it'll work. Just scoochie poo a little bit further backwards. Interlace your fingers and press your forearms down onto the ground. Right? Even the baby edges, the edges of your wrists are rooted into the floor, so not a playing card could slide through there, just really strong. Draw the head down and nestle your head in the base of your wrists. You could stay right here, pulling the shoulders away from your ears, the shins rooted into the floor. Or tuck your toes and jackknife your hips towards the sky. And we've done all this work in our legs. So feel the forearms press down and what it's like to lengthen the legs. And some of us will stay here, and some of us maybe will lift one leg or both towards the sky. Make sure that wherever you are, it feels safe. Make sure that wherever you are, in the worst case scenario, if you rolled forward, not only would you tuck your chin into your chest, but you wouldn't hit anything. And then just feel the feels. Resist the temptation to hop. I know it's so great. Just lifting one leg to the sky would be an incredible feat. And then if you hinged from your hips and slowly lower the legs down towards the earth. Nice. And we'll meet in child's pose. I know you're a little off your mat. It'll all work out. One more full breath in. Full breath out. Slowly roll on up. And shift off onto, let's say, your left hip, and come down onto your back. And if you have a strap handy, so you'll turn to the long edge of your mat and come on down to your back. Again, strap is welcome. You might not need it, but strap is welcome. When you get down here, squeeze your right knee into your chest and stretch your left leg long. Take your hands and wrap them around the back of your right thigh and lift your right heel towards the ceiling. So the thigh is pressing into the hands pressing into the thigh, and the shoulders staying rooted on the floor. And with your heels, think about all that work that we did in those standing poses in pyramid pose, when you can press into your heels and lengthen the backs of your legs. Right? That part's important. And really slowly lengthen so much out through the left leg, the guy that's on the ground, that your left leg starts to magically lift up off the floor, and lift it up until your feet are right next door to each other. They just say a quick, "Oh, hey, how are you?" "I'm good, thanks." And then lower your left leg just as slowly, lower it down, keeping the back of the waistband rooted on the floor until your left leg is about 2 inches off the floor. push out through your heels just like you do, or revolve triangle. And then let your left leg soften on the ground. Take your arms out to the side, make fists. Your right leg is still above you. And then push everything that you can into the ground as hard as you can. The left heel, the left calf, the glutes, the backs of your arms, your shoulders, the back of your head. Keep all of that top muscular energy and pull your right leg closer to your face. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Everything is quaking just a little for a moment. And then keep your right leg where it is. Reach up with your hands and grab your calf, or this might be a moment when you're like, I'm out. I'm gonna lasso the foot and hold on to the either ends of the strap. That would be fine too. Feel that energetic connection out through the heels. Keep what you have. Put both ends of the strap in your right hand. If you have your, you can reach your foot, maybe you can interlace your toe like we did earlier. If you're like, I'm kind of close, then just hold on to your right shin. Nobody cares. So 3 options: strap, shin, toe. Without allowing the pelvis to change at all, let your right leg float off to the side. The left hip will want to pop up off the ground. You're not going to let it. Your right elbow can bend. Your left arm firm into the floor. Slowly draw the leg back to center. Pause. If you have the strap, just unlasso it, set it to the side. Let our hands go, arms out to the side. One last time, make fists. Press everything into the mat. If we were all at the beach and we're trying to make an imprint of our body in the sand, left heel, left calf, left glute, backs of the arms, back of the head, back of the butt, and then squeeze your right leg closer towards your nose. And then slowly lower everything down towards the ground. Okay, relax, pause, feel the feels. My right leg's a little tuckered out, not gonna lie. Take the left knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze, and then slip your hands around your left thigh and reach your left heel towards the sky. Push your hands into your thigh, thigh into your hands, root the shoulders on the floor. As you push out through the heels, have that sensation that you're working the legs. You're not just stretching them. Stretch your right heel so long that your right leg starts to magically lift up off the floor. Just starts to levitate and slowly lift it up. It's on a track, so it doesn't wiggle wobble anywhere until your feet are right next door to each other, and just say, hello. Keep the low back, the waistband pushing into the floor, and lower the right leg down until it's about 2 inches off the floor. Press through your heels, hold here for a moment. Oh, and set your right leg down on the ground. All right, take your arms out to the side. Make fist, fierce. Push everything into the ground as hard as you can. You're trying to make an imprint of your body in your mat, and then try to move your left leg closer towards your face. Keep stretching through the heels, keep squeezing in, holding here. Top muscular energy, everything that you've got. Ooh, and then release, soften, and reach up and grab your leg again. Hopefully it's a little bit closer. And this is where you need to make some choices. You could lasso this guy right here. You could hold on to whatever you can reach, or first 2 fingers wrap around your left toe. Let's take the right arm. I took it out to the side. I liked the way that felt. Here we go, left leg off to the side without letting the pelvis move at all. Drive through the heels. Feel the entire back of the left leg peeling open. It's lengthening and strengthening. Push through your heels. Come back to the center. And we'll do this one more time. Release your hand. Release the strap. Set it off to the side. Make fists. Push the back of your leg, the back of your body, the backs of your arms, the back of your head as hard as you can into the floor, and try to lift the left leg towards your face. Top muscular output. And then slowly lower your leg all the way down to the ground. Ooh, was that your leg? Was that all right? Stretch your arms over your head. Reach your toes. We just broke Daniela. And then bend your knees. Ugh. All right, roll over onto the side of your mat that faces the long side, whatever has been your front, really this whole class, and then make your way up onto your shins. So we just like got up the way we got down. Step your feet underneath you, hands on your hips, and rise to stand. We're gonna do exactly what you just did, standing. Transfer the weight into your right foot. Lift your left knee into your chest. Put your hands on your shin like we did, and just give it a squeeze. And we have to go right to the hold. First two fingers around your left big toe, right hand on your hip, lengthen. Push through the heels, reach the leg out in front of you. It was so easy when we were laying on the floor. Toes into the fingers, fingers into the toes. It doesn't matter if your leg lengthens all the way or not. It really doesn't. And slowly take your left leg off to the side. It might be helpful to reach your right arm out to this side and find your balance here. The icing on the cake would be to look over, whoa, at your fingers. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, the hardest part is coming out with any kind of grace, right? Can you draw the leg back to the center? Bend your knee. Even if you fell out 10 times, come here so that you leave your body with some yummy residue. And then set your foot on the ground. All right, hands to your low back. Squeeze the elbows. Let's flesh that out. Push the pelvis forward, little hip extension, opening the chest. Oh, and rise on up. All right, side two. Take the moments that worked, not the moment when you fell. Be like, oh yeah, I learned something there. Take that to the left side. Right knee into your chest as you stand tall on your left foot. First two fingers around. Press your heel forward. Don't worry if the leg straightens all the way or not. And then slowly take the leg off to the side. Right? Do not panic, the whoa, whoa, whoas. Ground down. Right? Think of your support. Think of the power of the backs of your legs. Come back to the center. Even if you fell 10 times, right? Return the journey. Draw the knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. Leave your body with this residue. Set your foot on the earth. Well done. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, dive out of your legs. Forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Bend your knees. Let your heels lift and come down into a tight little ball. Wrap your arms around your shins. Find your balance. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Not even a little bit, a lot of a hug. Take your hands, place them behind your tush, and lower your seat down to the ground. If you got to get down there a different way, well, then you do. All right, what's on your booty? Once on your booty. I said that kind of funny. Let your feet find the floor, widen your knees, and then reach your arms from the inside and grab the outer edges of your feet. Take your right leg, lift it up like happy baby. And take the left leg and lift it up like happy baby. Push your feet into your hands into your feet to broaden the chest and find your balance here. Of course, you could stay right here or expand and stretch the legs. Now, if I said we were going to end up in Upavishta Konasana, which is this pose but with your legs on the ground, and you were going to do that, but really a really soft landing. So right now, talk to your legs and your feet and just remind them that they're really strong, right? And that your legs are super long. You can't believe how long they are. Take your hands away and float your legs down towards the ground. Ooh, good job. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Feel the backs legs long on your mat, and then hinge from your hip and reach forward. It doesn't matter if you come down to your elbows or walk the hands forward. Just whenever you're like, that's it, then let your forehead soften. And press your heels and your calves and your thighs down into the earth. And from that kind of energetic pulse down, let that move some energy through the pelvis, up through the spine, out through the crown of your head. On a breath in, lift your forehead, walk on up. Good job. All right, hands to the insides of your knees like you're a puppet. Lift the knees and draw the soles of your feet in together. First two fingers around your big toes. Lift up through the chest. Take your right leg off to the side, just like we did a moment ago. It could be like a happy baby leg, or your leg could extend. That part doesn't matter. What does matter is that your toes cooperate. Pull the baby edge of your toe back. That'll help a lot. And then lift the second leg on up. Finding your balance. Lift the chest high. Good. Holding here. Maybe your eyes, your heart could float up in space. And now, right now, remind your legs how incredibly long and strong they are. Right? You might have to give them a little bit of a look. Just be like, remember, you guys, take your hands away and float your legs down to the ground. Oof. Take your right fingertips, reach for your right toes. For some of you, your right elbow could come easily to the floor. For some of us, not so much. Roll the left side of your body open. What's gonna wanna happen is the left hip will wanna lift. So you're gonna ground down. And when you're ready, stretch over your head. Here's that big side stretch for the left rim of your hip. If you can actively think about some weight, a sandbag or someone's hand that's on top of your left thigh, pushing it down into the floor, dragging your left ribs away from your left hip. Oh, that feels good. And then gently rise on up. Second side, left fingertips reach for the left toes. If you know that you're a person that can stick your elbow down here easily, well, then you are. Wrap the right ribs towards the sky, right arm towards the sky. And then take it in stages. As you turn the palm and reach over your head, you're trying not to allow the right side to collapse. So like someone's foot is standing in the crease of this hip, and you can pull actively the right ribs away from your right hip. Drive the right side down into the floor. Gently rise. Swing your legs around to face the short edge of your mat. Bend your knees. Plant your feet on the floor. Take your arms behind you. Fingertips face you. First step, bend your elbows. Second step, hug the arm bones in. Press into your feet, into your hands, and lift the heart high. Smush your feet into the floor, pelvis even with the knees, reverse table. Look up towards the sky, or even let your head fall if that feels okay in your neck. Slow motion, lower your hips down to the ground. Straighten your legs out in front of you. And then clasp your hands and just do a little wiggle for your wrists here. So often in yoga practice, the concentration becomes too much on stretching the hamstrings and not strengthening the hamstrings. I'm guilty of that and suffered from that greatly. Take your hands behind you, fingertips face you, keeping the legs straight. That same pressure through your hands, the same lift of your heart. This time reach through your toes, scoop your tailbone, and lift the pelvis on up, reverse plank. This is one of my top 5 least favorite poses. Heart lifts high, push the hands, the entire surface of your hand, not just the heel of the hand, into the earth and scoop the tailbone, activate the back body. And gently, gently lower down. Okay, that's enough of that. Stretch your fingertips out in front of you, scoop your tailbone and lower everything down to the ground. And when you get here, one last heart lift, one last hello for the hamstrings. Bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor. Stretch your fingertips for your heels. As you push into your feet, scoop your tailbone, lift the pelvis high, and reach underneath you. Interlace your fingers, crawl the arm bones underneath. And in this bridge pose, your feet, the bones won't move. Just energetically, it's secret work. We won't know if you're doing it or not. Push your feet into the mat and feel like your feet are trying to pigeon toe, even though they don't. So the big toes, it's like the skin, the energy of the big toes are looking at one another, and your heels are kicking out to the side. And see if that helps you activate the outer glute. And then gently release your arms. Lie down the spine, really gently and slowly. Good, let's end with a twist. With your feet where they are, pick up your hips, move them a little over to your up, over, and to the left. Up, over, and to the left. And then draw your knees into your chest. Take the feet with you as you take your knees to the right. So the legs stack one on top of the other. And sometimes the feet get caught underneath your pelvis. Let your feet swing out so they're underneath your knees. Yeah, okay, that was a good adjustment. Let your left shoulder, your left arm be very heavy. One more breath. Exhale sweetly and come back to the center. When you're ready, set your feet on the ground, knees to the sky, and then readjust. Press into your feet, pick it up, move your hips over to your right, and let your knees come to your chest. Take your legs over to the left. Let your feet arrive underneath your knees so they don't get stuck underneath your pelvis, and then let the right side be very heavy. One more full breath in, full breath out. Slowly come back to the center. Give your knees one last squeeze. We'll move into Shavasana. Take your legs out, let your feet flop open. If you would prefer to rest in Shavasana, I would, with silence, you could end the playlist here. I think there's one more track. For me, there's one more track. That is the Shavasana track, which we might end before that ends. So if that bugs you and you'd rather have some silence, click off now. And then find a rest. Let your feet fall open. Your hands fall open. And we'll take a pause. As you lie still for just another moment, allow the weight of your skull, the weight of your arms, your legs to root you into the earth. As you breathe in, let the front, the face, your heart, your belly be soft and light. We'll honor the things that allow you to feel supported, allowing you to feel grounded, that you can express yourself, that you feel a freedom, the things that allow you to be creative. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. Begin to move, wiggling your fingers, your toes. Stretch as needed. Bend your knees. Then roll over onto your side. Press your hands into the ground and gently rise on up to a seat. We'll turn and face whatever direction you want to. Sit up tall, taking your hands together at your heart. Allowing this moment to be incredibly grateful and humble to those things in your life that allow you to feel supported, to feel loved, to feel nurtured. Breath in. Breath out. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful. I love seeing some of you outside. What a treat. I'm going to unmute you. Quick hello. Good morning. It's time for the parade of dogs.